Hi guys, Lucy aka The Watchbox Diaries here with another video for you guys. Today's one comes in the form of the Seiko SPB337J1. Why do they always do this? It's basically the Seiko Alpinist, but the blackout edition. Now Seiko have slowly been incorporating a blackout version into a variety of their ranges, and this was the turn of the Alpinist. This is the first land-based blackout that they've manufactured, and they are limited to 5,500 pieces. Not sure on the significance of that number because it's pretty random, but they're limited anyway, so let's get into it. This video is going to be slightly different because I asked you guys on Instagram recently to let me know if you have any particular questions about this watch, and I can either find the answers, or at least give my general opinion on them. So I'm going to start with your lovely questions. The next watch and a couple of others actually asked about the compass, so I'll start with that question. Does it work? Yes is the answer to that. It does work. Seiko have instructions on their website as well. As you can see here, I will drop the link in the description for you in case you want to go and investigate a little bit more. It does say not to be used when you actually really need accuracy. So if you're going anywhere that you really need to know where you are and which direction you're going in, this is probably not your best bet, but it does work. Seiko Prospex, I hope I said that right, and I'm sorry if I didn't. And a couple of others also asked about the Cyclops. Is it necessary? My personal opinion, no. I can see why they've incorporated it into the piece. It makes the date stand out more, but I personally don't like it on an aesthetics level. In this instance, I think it just breaks up that symmetry on the dial, so it's not my favourite. Massive Clock, freaking love that name. Congrats on a fantastic tag. He asked what my opinions on PVD coatings and blackout watches actually is. Again, personal opinion, personal preference. I'm not a big fan of blackout watches, but I do appreciate when a brand does something a little bit different, i.e., you know, put in a blackout watch within their range. I'm so sorry, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this because I will butcher it and offend somebody, but this lovely gentleman asked, does the construction and execution justify the price? It comes in at £800, which is well within that sub 1,000 category, and it's kind of where a lot of Seikos tend to sit, I think. It's an automatic, it's from a good brand, it's well-known brand. They have workhorse movements, the design is very iconic, the Alpinist. It's something on the different side with it being a blackout watch. So I do think £800 is a decent price for this watch. Average watches asked, will the coating rub off or rip off? I'm a bit clumsy with my own watches, but I am very careful with anything that I loan. It's not mine, I'm not going to treat it, you know, the way that I treat my own. So I'm yet to scratch this piece. That's not to say that it doesn't scratch easily. I can't find any measurement of strength of this coating out there, so if you can, please let me know. The name would suggest that it's pretty good anti-scratch resistant. Now, Mark Time to Watch asked about fingerprints, and do you leave a lot of fingerprints on this watch? And I can firmly say yes. When you handle it, you will leave fingerprints on your watch. But I guess it kind of goes for any watch that's polished as well. If you have a polished watch, you accept that you'll leave a lot of fingerprints. You just maybe carry around a cloth if you're really bothered. Dill Pretty 97. Is it as ugly in person as it looks on pictures? Oh, harsh words. I take it you are not a fan. Personally, I don't think it's an ugly watch. I like the Alpinist. I like what they've done with it aesthetically. Personal preference not to like blackout watches, but I do think some of the renders of it are overly contrasted, so in person it's not as... So things that I like about this watch, first off, it's an Alpinist. I really like Alpinists. It's such a good range. I enjoy the aesthetics of it, so that is always going to be a tick from me. I really like the loom on this piece. I enjoy getting the UV torch out and shining it on and then slowly watching it fade. Does anyone else do that? Or is it just me? This watch, if it was fully black and it had painted on indices, it It has the potential to look really, really flat and kind of boring, actually. But it is saved by the fact that the dial has this really cool sort of rough terrain texture on it. And also the indices are applied as well, so it gives a little bit more depth on the dial without it being overpowering or taking away from the legibility of the piece, which, by the way, is fantastic. You can read it really easily, and I guess that's kind of what it's designed to do. Now, I do have a few gripes with this piece as well. First off, and if it's not obvious by now, I'm not a fan of blackout watches. My tastes are changing, and if there's a blackout watch out there that you think I would like and appreciate, then please let me know in the comments, because I'm open to suggestions, people. But unfortunately, I have yet to find one that really speaks to me. I have rather large spade-like hands, and unfortunately, the compass crown is very close to the actual time crown. So when I'm unscrewing it and setting the time and the date, I regularly knock the compass, which isn't much of a problem, but also it's annoying because I'm the type of person that needs to have that point right at north, you know, on a GMT, it needs to be at 12, on a, you know, anything else with a complication, like that arrow just needs to point at the top if I'm not using it. And it frustrates me that every time I set this watch, I have to then set the compass straight after it. Also, on the subject of the crown, it's a little bit clunky unscrewing it and actually pulling the crown out to set the time and the date. Once it's out, it's fine, but actually getting to that point is kind of clunky. There is a massive market out there for PVD coated blackout watches. Unfortunately, it's not me, it's not really my cup of tea, but I do appreciate a brand that does something a little bit different. So yeah, I appreciate that they're incorporating this as an option into each of their ranges. I wonder whether this would look pretty killer on a rubber strap. In my head, it fully works. I'll either give it a go, or if you want to send me over some inspo, feel free. That is it from me, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, I've not been through the specs today like I normally would, but if you're really, really interested, then you can either Google stuff, or I will drop them in the description down below, along with those instructions for the compass, if you're really, really interested, or you just need to procrastinate from something productive that you're avoiding. Blackout watches, PVD coated watches, that kind of thing are not everybody's bag, so I would love to hear your opinion on this. Are you for? Are you against? Does this watch actually just really make you happy? Or are you pretty offended by the fact that they've done a blackout version of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, people, if you could help a girl out and make sure you have liked and subscribed to the channel, that would be awesome. And if you enjoy my horological ramblings and you would like to be notified of future ones, make sure you turn on that little bell and YouTube will do its thing. Until next time though, bye.